but there's just a lot going on. So let's just get started. So first of all, what did I miss? No, I've definitely been keeping up with things. It's thankfully our city council meeting didn't last too long from a relative standpoint, so that's good. So let's just get right to it. So here is the current radar, and as you can see, we have several severe thunderstorms. Thankfully, for the moment, they are south of Dallas-Fort Worth proper, but they definitely bear watching. So let's get right to the details on these particular storms. So we have one tornado warning in effect, and this is for Ellis County, the southern part of Ellis County, really. So if we look at that one, tornado with that one, ping pong ball size hail. So if you happen to know anybody that lives in Ennis area, maybe Palmer, Alma, zoom in on that one a little bit. Definitely want to make them aware if you know somebody in that area, make sure that they're aware of what's going on, and then they should be in their shelter. And what respect the polygon, as I borrow a phrase from the great James Spann. We definitely want to respect the polygons tonight. All right, so let's look at the velocity on this particular storm. And you can definitely see some rotation there, probably right about here. Boy, my bandwidth's going to be an issue today, I can tell. All right, so anyways, there we go. So a little rotation there, nothing terribly tight, but it is something that they definitely want to watch if you have friends down in that area. All right, so let's go back up to closer to home, as they say. And this is a storm that's really started to ramp up here just in the last few minutes. This storm right here. This storm is right now, the worst part of that storm is near Balch Springs. And if we get an idea, just to give you a geographic reference, downtown Dallas, this would be Saxe and my home. And so you're definitely seeing some. If you're in Northeast Dallas County, Southern Collin County, you're seeing some lightning and especially off to the south. And it's something that want to watch because there's no warnings out for this particular storm. But I wouldn't be shocked if they did not warn this thing pretty quickly because it does want to gather some hook identities, if you will. So let's put the velocity on this storm, and you see that's we don't really see any of these green and reds close together yet, so that's good. Although if you look closely here, you'd see a little bit of a tightening of the rotation right there. So I would not be surprised if the National Weather Service issues, at the very least, a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. And matter of fact, if I had to guess, since my weather radio is going off, if I had to guess, I would say that's about what they're going to do, but I could be wrong. Let's see if I can find it on my phone. Yeah, I think that's what they're doing, which is not surprising because this storm has really started to ramp up, as you can see. All right, so let's zoom this out a little bit more, get you a better idea. All right, so bandwidth is going to be a challenge tonight, so bear with me there. All right, so we'll put this in motion in just a second, but the severe thunderstorm warning box should be popping up on the screen here momentarily. And it looks like that's going to be for the southern half of Dallas County. So you can see the motion in these storms, again, generally to the northeast. And you can see over the last hour and a half, they have really kind of gathered some more strength, especially south of I-30. So I would say, but you can see these last couple radar loops, you do see some intensification of the storms in Northeast Dallas County, Garland, Saxe. And of course, I'm sure if you're anywhere near listening to this in real time, then you see some, or you hear some thunder, see some lightning. Right now, the worst part of the storm is going to I would say at this point, stay south of State Highway 66. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. Okay. All right, so first of all, let's look at the velocity. So this shows the any potential, I should say, rotation of the storm. And again, I would say if there is anything, there might be a weak rotation right there. So again, I don't think this radar frame is updated for a couple of minutes. So I would guess it might be somewhere in this area now. There's no tornado warning on it, but it definitely bears watching. Okay, so with that, let's go to the hail mode and see if this storm is producing hail. Okay, just not a ton, just a little bit. So we do see. Remember, the green is not hail; that's rain. But you see a couple little hail cores right here. So that with that storm, it definitely bears watching. If we put the reflectivity back on there, get rid of this. So I would say you can kind of get a better idea. Oh, okay. Actually, I was mistaken. They actually didn't warn that storm. Let me check here, see if they didn't do it already or something else. No, okay. So my apologies. That storm is not the storm that they warned, but it was actually the one south of that. And so again, that's southern Dallas County, northern Ellis County that you would want to watch out for that storm. So, but getting back to this storm here, I would not be shocked if they warned the storm sooner rather than later, just because it's really starting to get its act together. So again, I would say if you live anywhere in this area for this storm, so that would be really most of Rowlett, maybe the southern half of Rockwell, anywhere along I-30, if you live in Heath, McClendon, Chisholm, and then as you get a little further northeast, Fate, Roy City, definitely keep your eye on the storm because unfortunately for the people that live in that area, it's headed your way. So definitely want to watch that storm. I don't see a big tornado signature or anything like that with this particular storm, but I think if it continues on, it's ramping up. I think you may start to see some hail out of it. Yes, Christy, you're in Rowlett. I know. Yeah, just watch it. You know, nothing to be terribly alarmed about yet. But again, we are in a situation to where things can change pretty quickly. Connors saw the tornado warning south of us. Yeah, that storm is actually not coming toward us, thankfully. And of course, when I say us, I mean people in northeast Dallas County, Saxe. So that's the storm right here, Connors. And yeah, that storm is not headed toward us, thankfully. But like I said, the problem is, there is a storm that's a lot closer to us. It's not near that intense, but like I said, we're in an environment where it can be pretty quick, intensify pretty quick. B, you're asking about Saxe. Well, if you look outside right now, it's lightning. It's definitely starting to rain, get a little more stormy. But right now, we are not doing too bad. Hopefully, it'll stay that way. Hello, Paula. How are you? You're up in Corinth, I think, so you're not doing too bad right now. Andrew, I know you're up in Wills Point. Yeah, Wills Point. Well, just it's kind of heading your way, so just definitely keep an eye on it. And Jennifer, thank you. I appreciate your comments. I don't remember if you're in Forney still. If you are, then watch the storm. If you're not, tell your friends that live in Forney to watch the storm because it's something that's headed y'all's way. Okay, so let's expand the view a little bit more here. Well, actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's expand it a little bit. And let's just real quickly go over the severe probabilities right now. Before I do that, Lori just topped on. Anything too severe for us through the night? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. Maybe. So actually, right now, I'm a little more concerned with the here and now. So, but I will talk about later tonight here in a minute. All right. So in that same vein, let's go to the Storm Prediction Center's latest and greatest outlooks. Not a whole lot's changed here. This is the categorical outlook, and we're still in the enhanced risk, and I think that's very well. Very appropriate because we're seeing some of those storms. Like I said, most of them are south of us, but definitely appropriate, that's for sure. And so the next parameter is tornado. So the good news is, if you remember, if you were watching the video this morning, this afternoon after lunch, we actually had a 10% probability of seeing hail. And so, tornado, and that's gone down to 5. So that's good. I think, again, the vast majority of the tornado threats is going to be, especially as we go forward into the night, is going to be more northeast of Dallas-Fort Worth. But as you can tell right now, with the tornado warning in Ellis County, we're right in the thick of it still. So that is nothing to relax your guard on. Yeah, that's for sure. All right, so now here's something that we definitely want to watch out for. So this is the damaging wind probability, and again, uh, this is the probability of seeing a wind gust of 60 miles an hour or greater. Now, remember this afternoon we were in the hatched area, which means it ups it to the percentage of seeing a 75-mile-an-hour wind gust. So that has gone northeast of us, mainly into Oklahoma. But we're still in the 30% range to see 60 miles an hour or higher. And we've definitely seen that tonight, especially with the storms that are south of us right now. So that's definitely still in play. Now, the one we always like to talk about and get concerned about, of course, is hail. So here's the latest hail probabilities. Now, again, you can see, hopefully you can see that, we are in the 30% category for significant hail. Now, remember, if you're in a hatched area, then it's significant hail is 2 inches in diameter or greater, and unfortunately, we've seen a lot of that tonight. Not in the Metroplex proper, although I do know we've seen some, but mainly south of us, especially southwest of us. So that's again a very accurate forecast as far as that goes. I think that will continue, but again, I think you'll see hopefully more of that northeast of us. Okay, so what's the current watches and warnings? So with that, you may remember we talked about this at 5 o'clock. Tornado watch for us until 11 o'clock, so a little less than 2 hours. Not a whole lot has changed with that. It's just we're definitely in a mode of severe weather, and tornadoes are obviously possible. We have a tornado warning as we speak in Ellis County. Now, we also have a severe thunderstorm watch, which is mainly west of us in the pink, as you can see on this map. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Usually when these storms move through, we're good, right? Well, unfortunately, in this case, the way the atmosphere is set up is that we're not going to be totally good with this when these round of storms move out. But we will talk about that toward the end of this update. And just to give you a better idea of what that looks like graphically, just the watch itself is, like I said, it's west of us. Now, it includes, there's a little bit of an overlap with the tornado watch, but again, that's mainly west of us as far as that goes. But unfortunately, anything west of us comes our way. So, all right, so let's get back to... Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull the satellite picture up real quick, because I did want to show you that. I hear another warning going off, so I'll watch that and see what's going on. All right, so let's fade this over. All right, so I just want to show this real quick. So this is obviously earlier, starting late afternoon when the sun was still out. This explosive development of these severe thunderstorms. And again, that's not not terribly uncommon for what the situation we had. Now, I would point out too that you see these thunderstorms out in West Texas. I don't think you can see my mouse doing that. Those are storms we're going to have to watch for tonight. So, Kara, when can we sleep peacefully? Well, yeah, that's a little more complicated than I want it to be, but we're going to talk about that. Okay, so with that, let's get back to the radar here and see what we got going on. Okay, so let me do this. All right, so right now, as far as most of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, let's see, I just want to make sure they had another warning, make sure I didn't miss that one. Okay, that's northwest of us. Okay, so again, right now, except for basically the southeastern half of Dallas County, as far as DFW proper, that's the only warning we have. Excuse me. Thankfully, this storm is in northeast Dallas County currently. If I could get my drawing tool to work, right here is behaving, as I like to say. So hopefully it will stay that way. But in these situations where the atmosphere is very unstable, it just always makes me a little nervous, because I think that they can ramp up really, really fast. And so that's something that we just don't like, but at this point there's not a whole lot you can do about it. All right, so let's zoom in on this storm in particular and see what we got going on. There we go. All right, so definitely have lightning with this storm. Let's put on the velocity here and see if we got anything going on. Not a lot, although I hear my weather radio going off again. And boy, I apologize. I was talking at the council meeting. I'm all talked out. Yeah, Connors, it's raining pretty hard here too. And yes, I was just about to point out it is rather windy with this particular storm, and I think that's going to be, excuse me, I think that's going to be a theme of the night as we go on, because I think these storms will ultimately transition into this tornado hail threat, certainly this large hail threat, to more of a wind threat. Now that's not the greatest, that's for sure. But I have to admit, if I'm going to pick my poison, I might take that. All right, so let's look at the hail phase on this one. And okay, though, that's good. Not really, maybe just maybe in some of these red areas, probably not even reaching the ground, but if it is, it might be pea size. So that's good. So not a lot of hail, really no hail with these particular storms moving through, which is good. But let's go back to the velocity. And, well, let's do the reflectivity first. Because the one part of the storm, yeah. So the one part of the storm that that I would want to make sure that we keep an eye on is this right here. So let's go back to the velocity. And yeah, okay, it's nothing too out of the ordinary, so that's good. But again, just something to watch, because again, I say it again, we have a volatile atmosphere, and that's that's what we're looking at as far as these storms ramping up and down really fast. All right, so let's expand this out a little bit and kind of give you an idea of what to expect. So I got in a couple of comments that, hey, well, are we done with this when this line moves through? And as I mentioned just a second ago, we are not, unfortunately, although we may have a break. I don't know that we're going to be totally over with it. Christy, crazy heavy rain and wind and rally. Yeah, it's doing that in Saxe too now. Let's see, Misty, how are we looking down there in your neck of the woods? Well, let's see. You're if I can get my there you go. So not bad at all right now, Misty. For those of y'all who may not know, Misty is southeast of Corsicana. But you definitely want to watch these line of storms to the west of you. But I'll keep you up to date on that. Now, I think, and actually, Misty brings up a good point, because these storms, especially you see these storms that are down in this area. If I get my line to work, there you go. You're going to, my feeling is the way the atmosphere is set up, you're going to start to see this become a squall line type situation with a lot of wind. And so that's just something to watch. So Misty, it's what, 9:17 now. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be one of those middle of the night things for you. After midnight, you'll definitely want to keep an eye on this, that's for sure. I'll try to keep you updated too. All right, so if I can let's check this warning box here and see what we got hazard wise. Okay, not too bad on that one. 60 mile an hour winds and quarter size hail, which is not great, but it's a lot better than baseball. This one's golf ball size and 65 mile an hour wind gust. This is the one west of Hillsboro. So, again, that's stuff we got to watch out for. All right, so let's see. Let's get back to the storm in northeast Dallas County. Well, like I said, the good news is it's not a warned storm, although, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if it's warned eventually, but right now we're doing okay. I'm going to see if I can pull up my weather station here and see what we got going on here. And I think it's still updating, so let's give that a second here. Yeah, I think I'm using a lot of bandwidth. That's okay. All right, but again, from a radar perspective, let's put that back on. Okay, actually, I got it back. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I'm going to let y'all see this here real quick. All right, so this is my house. At the moment, it's not too windy, thankfully, but it's raining pretty good. So we've gotten, if you can probably bear to see that, 0.08 of an inch, and it's raining pretty doggone hard. You can see that dial on the right. That's 0.92 inches per hour, and I'm sure that will increase here in a second. But not a lot of wind here, so that's good. I think Although I'm sure, like I said, in Rowlett, it's looks like it sounds like it's a little windier. Yeah, we haven't had any gusts beyond 20 with this particular storm, so that's good. Okay, so let's go back to the radar here. Okay, so let's check out this here. Okay, let's put the velocity back on and see. Okay, yeah, so I could see why it's definitely windier down in this area. So again, if you're in eastern part of Rowlett, into heading Rockwell's way. So if you live in Rockwell, uh, nothing severe. That's good from a wind gust standpoint. But again, this can ramp up pretty quick. So definitely keep an eye on it. But it's behaving itself for the most part. All right. So, okay. So let's go back to the bigger picture here. Now, Kara Long had mentioned this before, and I think it's a very good question. Can we sleep peacefully tonight? I really wish I could say yes, but I don't know that we're actually going to be able to do that. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be an all night thing. Don't get that impression. But okay, so I want to come out here to West Texas, and again, my bandwidth is being stretched. That's for sure. So, okay, and I am going to switch radars and kind of give you an idea of what we possibly can expect. And I say possibly. All right, so this is a long track supercell that's been actually started east of Lubbock, I think, if I remember correctly. And it's just these long track supercells they have a life of their own, unfortunately. So you can see a lot of purple here. So if we put this watch box up, I want to say, yeah, 2-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. I know before, and that's 2 inches in diameter. I know before that it had baseball-sized hail, so it's come down a little bit, which is good. And hopefully, some of the storms we've had in Dallas-Fort Worth will help if it ever gets this far, which hopefully it won't. But hopefully it'll help tap down that stuff. That's for sure. And then, of course, you can see a storm southwest of that as well. And again, you can see the hail contours there. So these storms have had a history of producing large hail, and hopefully by the time they make their way our way, they will quit doing that. All right, so let's go back to our neck of the woods before I sign off for now. And let's do this. And all right. Like I said, definitely using bandwidth. Okay, so here's where we're at almost 9:30. So as you could tell, at the moment, we are about to hit a break here, because what you're going to see is this everything again momentarily. Everything west of that line is for the most part. Oh, that's a horrible arrow. For the most part, it's going to have a break. But, what we have to look at is, storm development like that out near Bridgeport. We have to watch that to make sure that doesn't get out of hand anytime soon. But again, with this atmosphere, it could. So that's why I was showing you this, the Storm Prediction Center maps earlier, is because there's definitely a chance for storms overnight when this disturbance moves through, because it has not done that yet. And the cold front, of course, hasn't moved through yet. So that's what's ironic, is that, the cold front slowed down, and, we at one point we thought maybe by 10, 11 o'clock we might be done with some of it, but that's obviously not going to be the case, because the cold front's taking its sweet time. So, but, again, if you're going to have these type situations, it's best to have it at night. It doesn't mean you won't have severe weather, but typically it's not as bad. So hopefully we'll have that going for us. So here's the bottom line for tonight. So I think within the next, depending on where you are, I think within the next 15, 20 minutes, it should calm down some. And then we're going to have to watch, of course I'll watch, we're going to have to watch development out to the west along the cold front and the disturbance that's coming our way, because there's definitely enough instability left in the atmosphere to cause trouble. So that's for sure. So that's really what we got to watch out for. Now, what's the hazard with that? It doesn't look like at this point the hazard would be tornadoes. Can't rule it out. And to a lesser extent, the threat doesn't look like a hail threat, although that's more of a possibility overnight than tornadoes, but it's still a possibility. But if the storms west of us actually evolve and congeal into a line, then the severe wind gust would be an issue. So that's something we definitely want to watch out for. So what I will try to do is, 10:30ish, 11ish, depending on what the current weather map and radar shows, give you an update. Don't know if it'll be a live update or might be a written update, just depends. And then, we'll kind of prepare you to go into the overnight hours. I think we'll have a better idea then on what we can expect. But once the disturbance moves through and the cold front moves through, tomorrow will be actually nice. Like a lot of spring days, some days are really rough, and then the next day is really nice weather. I think you'll see that tomorrow, that's for sure. Okay, so I think I didn't see a whole lot of extra comments there. So I will definitely, check social media on comments and try to update you the best I can as needed. As always, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support. And I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a relatively calm evening, and hopefully the Mother Nature will cooperate with us. And then we can ultimately go to bed peacefully and not have to worry about it. But unfortunately, we're still ways away from that. But I appreciate everyone's support. Thanks for watching, and we